Donald Trump has yet to choose a running mate, while the Supreme Court could, wittingly or unwittingly, impact the election with pending decisions. Winning elections is challenging. If you're entrusted with the gears of government, you must then lead. Can that be done in the fractured political environment which now exists? Joining us now from the great state of South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott, who is not only rumored to be on the short list for vice president, but he's also poised to lead a powerful Senate committee if Republicans actually retake that body. Welcome to you, Senator. I'm going to ask you a different kind of question. I'm not going to ask about you as the running mate. I'm going to ask what kind of running mate should Trump be looking for? I mean, you travel the country, you ran for president yourself, you have courted non-traditional GOP voters. What are the characteristics of a good vice president?
Well, Trey, happy Father's Day, by the way. Thank God that you are on TV and doing such a good job for all of America. So happy Father's Day to you and your daddy. Let me just say this, Trey. Without any question, what we need in a vice president is exactly what Kamala Harris is not. She is the border czar. And as vice president, she has allowed our border to be unsafe, insecure, wide open, leading to over 100,000 Chinese nationals crossing our southern border. Trey, I believe we have sleeper cells in our country because Kamala Harris, the border czar, has left it open, leaving America facing a national security crisis on our southern border. What we do want in a vice president is someone who knows it's not about that person. It's only about the president and his vision for this nation.
All right, you once served in the House. It's a little more rambunctious than the place you work now. I want us to listen together to the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, who would be Speaker if the Democrats were to win the House, and then I'll ask you a question on the other side.
The Republican Party no longer exists in its traditional form. This is the Trump Party, and it's not focused on solving problems for the American people. It is focused singularly on doing the bidding of Donald Trump.
Now, maybe I missed something. Were Democrats big fans of Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush? I don't even remember Democrats like being big fans of yours. So they're not going to like the Republican nominee no matter who he is, are they?
Absolutely not, Trey. Here's what we need to know. The bottom line is we need a visionary leader, and I believe that Donald Trump is that visionary leader, and we definitely need him on the global stage. Trey, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching Joe Biden get lost on some global stage all the time, whether it's G7 or anywhere else. I'm actually sick of watching our adversaries laugh at the weakness and the feckless leadership of Joe Biden. Think about Afghanistan and the botched withdrawal. Think about war in Ukraine or conflict in the Middle East or aggression in the Indo-Pacific. The one thing we did not have when Donald Trump was our president, we did not have skirmishes, wars in Ukraine. We didn't have conflict in the Middle East. And we certainly did not have President Xi showing aggression towards Taiwan. We need a leader who is willing to tell the American people your taxes are going down and your take-home pay is going up. That person is Donald Trump. Whatever we need. Hakeem, listen. You guys should just apologize for Joe Biden and give America a break. Not 40% higher gas prices, not 30% higher energy prices. We need 4 more years of Donald Trump.
All right, we're going to end on a happy note. You may not remember this, but I do. An aspiring attorney general candidate actually went to Charleston and met with you because you care so much about having a justice system that is worthy of respect. So I hear folks calling for revenge and retribution. Is it better to fight fire with fire or to fight it with that ever-flowing stream of righteous water the prophet Amos talked about?
Well, obviously, Amos in the gospel is 100% right. What we need to recognize is having a thumb or sometimes a body on the scales of justice is inconsistent and antithetical to who we are as Americans. We need Lady Justice wearing a blindfold. We need to make sure that the absolute truth is our foundation. And upon that foundation, Trey, we can have an objective standard. And let's apply that objective standard equitably and fairly. That gives us the rule of law. It requires fairness. And today, what I would desperately want is a justice system that doesn't hunt your opponents, a justice system that doesn't target pro-life activists or parents showing up at a school board meeting being referred to as domestic terrorists. I want a justice system that we can all be proud of. I've talked about that for years, and I can tell you, America consistently moves in the right direction. But under Joe Biden, he's hit the rewind button, and it's terrible.
Senator Tim Scott, who on August the 3rd will become a father himself, I will tell you in advance, it is the best yet most expensive form of entertainment you can possibly have. So happy early Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to your dad.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.